Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Habs Tonight. We got three of the OGs on today for you. Welcoming back, as always, is a pleasure. Brandon Legacy, first of all, Brando, thank you for jumping on during your little boy's nap there.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to be back on, but it's been a busy time. We got little man sleeping, wife's out for lunch with some friends, so figured I'd jump on, have some fun.
So if Brando does have to jump off for a moment, it's just because he's being a good dad. Okay, so just so everybody knows. But Nick, of course, joining us, and always a pleasure to have, like I said, just the OGs from the crew that started this whole thing. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. And we're going to go through basically the first 6 games that the Canadiens have played here, coming at an even 500. We're 3-3, which is a much better start still than last year. Going through the first 6 games was a bit of a, a bit of a tumultuous experience for a lot of us. But we're just going to go through who has stood out so far for the Habs in a good way and who has stood out in a not so good way for the Canadiens. And we got a lot of players to talk about, a lot of, first impressions through this first 6 games. We could even touch on just, from the start of camp to now, what we've seen. And I'll let you guys take it away. But who has impressed you guys, I guess, the most? Who's top of mind for you guys right out of the first 6 games here?
Brando, I'll let you go first.
I think I got to echo what everybody's been thinking. It's the rookies on the back end. I know going into the season, a lot of people are assuming 4 rookies, 3 on the back end. Everybody thought it was going to be tough, and the Habs are showing and the kids are showing that it's not as bad as everybody thought it was going to be. I mean, Caden Guhle is looking like a number 1 or 2 defenseman already. I know it's a short sample size. He's going to improve, and he's probably going to drop down the charts once Matheson and Edmondson are back. But, I mean, Guhle's look good. Xhekaj, I mean, he beat the wheels off Cassie and gets his first goal last night. And Jordan Harris is playing a very quiet but steady game. So I got to go with the young guys. I got to echo what the whole hockey world's saying right now.
Yeah, I 100% agree with what you said. It's the young guys that are impressing. If we want to talk about veterans that are impressing, I'm going to give a big shout out to Brendan Gallagher, who had not the best season last year, let's be honest, battling through injuries, coach changes, but he said that he needed a full summer to relax, get back into it, and we're seeing the old Brendan Gallagher back. So for me, one of the big shout outs to him. You rookies. I'm actually curious. We're probably going to talk about this later on today, but I'm going to bring it up now. Is once we have Edmondson and Matheson back in the lineup, what do we do?
Chris Weidman is out.
Weidman and Kovacevic, maybe?
Kovacevic.
Yeah. I think so.
Would you guys bring out Jordan Harris?
And
no.
Leave plus minus.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's a good stat to bring up, man. Like that's important for a rookie. Like if your plus minus right now is in good shape and you're through your first 6 games, and you just like Jordan Harris is like I love what I'm seeing from him. I just think that he kills a lot of plays. He's not afraid to make a mistake, and I think that's what you're noticing with this year compared to last year, right? Making some pinches, right? Chips in an offense here and there when he can. And like Nick said in our last episode, skates like a butterfly. Was that what you said? Like just the way
he's just an angel on the ice. He's a beautiful skater. And to quote Shane, just
Yeah. So it's hard to take him out, I think. If I'm able to bring up the image from, I'm going to do this actually because this is going to change the background for a second, but I want to bring up this image, and this is why I said Chris Weidman, taking him out of the lineup, because this is the goal from last night, where Xhekaj and Weidman are caught behind the net. Xhekaj is picking up his stick because he just finished checking Jamie Benn into the boards to basically back up Chris Weidman. But Weidman just stands there and watches the whole time. And this is 18 seconds left in the period, and Brando's just being a good dad right now, like we mentioned. So he'll be back if he can in a minute. Yeah. But for me, that's why I just can't ignore a guy watching a play, especially where this goal just took the wind out of our sails against Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, you had Xhekaj after the game quoting that, he thought he was going to go with a bit of a tilt with Jamie Benn there. But like he said, Jamie saw that there was an opportunity for an offensive play, and even it led to a goal. So he's not going to drop the gloves and take away that chance. It was a veteran move. And it's lesson learned, I think, for Xhekaj too, who, he needs to learn to evaluate those kinds of plays and evaluate when it's the good time to be in a scramble in a corner or when it's just not worth it. So perfect learning opportunity for him, and I'm glad that he spoke up about it and admitted that, hey, I need to switching on a little bit faster. But like you said, Chris Weidman, compared to when he started last season, I don't know, it felt like he had something to prove, and he was involved in every aspect of the game, and especially on the power play, like he was the go-to guy. But I don't know what's going on this year where is he just not feeling the pressure because he signed? Is he just taking the easy way? Is he just coasting? Like, I don't know what's going on with Chris Weidman. So I agree that he might be someone that we could move out of the lineup and have as a seventh. I don't know if it's him that just fell behind you, but you know.
Oh, geez. Nope, that was Carrie. Sorry,
Okay.
Carrie.
Oh, that's even more sad.
Yeah, that makes me sad. Like, no.
Yeah.
That's the first time this has
Carrie.
actually happened during a recording on
Yeah.
either channel. So
Yeah.
I will get him back up momentarily.
That is just it's a little bit sad considering, but
yeah, I know.
Chris Weidman might not bother me if we take him out. And just to touch quickly on defense too, Kovacevic, is that how you pronounce it?
I think so. That's about the closest I think we're going to get to it, and people will correct us in the
Kovacevic.
comments. So go ahead,
Yes,
guys. Go
feel
ahead. Just
free.
do it. You know you're gonna.
I'm very impressed with him. Honestly, coming in from a new team, the guy barely had any NHL experience to start off with. He's a big guy. He's making great plays. He's using his body. No issues with him whatsoever if he were to stay in the lineup. I mean, I understand if we needed to move him out to make room for everybody else, but
Yeah.
I absolutely love how he's playing. I think it's a great asset. It was a great pickup, and no issues with that whatsoever.
Yeah, Kovacevic has been fine. Just kind of just doing the job, right? Like he's a guy just coming in and not trying to do too much. He's also very happy to be there. I mean, he's living a dream right now, according to his interviews, right? So, to be honest, no complaints either way. Too, it's the Niagara Falls native in him. I think that's got to be part of it. No, but love people from our city. You know, I found that out. That was just, yeah, of course we do. Yeah, of course we do. So, but he's a guy who's just doing the job, and he's not standing out in a bad way. So he's kind of right in the middle, right? So if you're a guy that's in the middle, though, he might just fall victim to the fact that Edmondson and Matheson are two guys you just can't take out of the lineup if they are available. But we do know that Matheson's going to be out for just under now 8 weeks, so that's 2 months.
Yeah, still got a little bit of time to go, and that's assuming everything goes well, right?
Yeah. So do you think it's too early in the next little while to say call up like a Justin Barron or another right-handed shot defenseman? I don't think they're not going to bring in Mayu. He's going to do his full year, hopefully, in the OHL. Yeah. But do you think it's too, like, if Jordan or Justin Barron is having, is he one of the first guys you call up? In other words, before we bring Matheson, or are you just not seeing it?
From the preseason we got from Barron, he's not ready. So I don't want to pull like we did with Primo last year of not being ready and we're just shoving him in to fill a spot, ruin his development. Like, leave him where he is, let him get the experience. There's a lot of rumors going around that Kent Hughes is actually looking to acquire a right-handed D. So maybe we'll see something happen before the time's up. I'm hoping we can pick up somebody if it doesn't cost too much, and depending on who's available as well. Right. However, for me, Justin Barron is not in my plans of, is Corey Schueneman right-handed?
He's left-handed.
Okay, I was going to say Schueneman could be a good call-up if he can play both.
I don't think he's far away from getting into. I think he's getting into game action this week.
Yeah,
I feel like.
Yeah. No, he's somebody that's reliable that I wouldn't mind seeing being called up too if he can play both. I don't know if he can play both sides or not, but
yeah, you were unhappy that he was out of the lineup to start the season.
I absolutely loved what I saw from him last season. Talk about a guy who throws the body around. He's been great. He's great for Laval as well. So yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him in the lineup down the line. But right now we've got this problem where we have a lot of D and we don't know what to do, especially with, you've got guys like Guhle and Xhekaj that are playing like they've played in the league for, especially Guhle, he plays like he's a veteran. This guy's making amazing plays. I don't know if you saw that backhand that he had. Oh, that was Xhekaj. Sorry. Yeah. Xhekaj's backhand last night.
I think he said about both of them.
Yeah. These guys are amazing.
They've been there
watch.
Longer, yeah.
They're having fun. And like we said earlier, Martin St. Louis doesn't mind seeing his D pinch. And I think that's the difference in what we were seeing under Dominique Ducharme, Claude Julien, Michel Therrien. It was always a defensive D. Don't pinch, stay where you are, and that's it. Now it's don't be afraid to make that mistake And I don't know how many times that you saw a D make a mistake and the other D was already back, waiting for it, waiting for backup, had the other D's back. So it's interesting to see how it's coming along and the positive that's coming out of it. I mean, Xhekaj's first goal yesterday, this like he's being more marketed by the NHL right now than Connor McDavid. I don't know if you've noticed, but Xhekaj, Wi-Fi, Sheriff, whatever you want to call him, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful to see. For me, an Arbor Xhekaj, I've said this before, is like a Sheldon Surrey type of player, and it's been a while since we've had a Sheldon Surrey. So it's very exciting, and I'm hoping that Caden Guhle is going to be the next one with his first goal because the kid absolutely deserves it. He's playing beautifully.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring Brando back in, and I'm actually gonna jump out for a second so that I can correct my set here with the missing piece just behind me here. Carey deserves to be back up on this wall, even though he's right up here too, guys. Don't worry, I got a back up here. I actually have two more. There's one right here too in the reverse retro.
Fallen soldier, better fix that.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna jump off for a second here, but Brando, we're just in the middle of discussing Xhekaj, Guhle, and just our early impressions, like you said, of the kids on the back end, and I definitely want to hear your thoughts, Brando. So do the fans. So I'm gonna jump over.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm probably just parroting the same thing you said, Nick. It's just incredible what they've done at such a young age. I know we were talking about Harris before I kind of left, and he just plays such a smart, simple, quiet game, but it's smart and effective. It's efficient, which is good. Because on defense, you don't want to be noticeable in a bad way. If you're not going to light it up offensively, which I don't see Jordan Harris doing, but when you're not noticeable and you're just quiet, steady, that it's just a perfect game to play at that age. Just soak everything in, develop, and get better. So no, I've been really impressed and really happy with the kids. I mean, I knew it was going to be a down year, as in like standings. Everybody did. They're not making playoffs or anything, but the kids are impressing a lot more than I predicted in a way. Because now when these two, Edmondson and Matheson, come back, it's not an easy decision depending on what they want to do. Kent Hughes is going to have to decide soon or around deadline of what they're going to do. How many vets are they shipping out? Are they going to bring in some people from Laval, or are they going to keep some vets around and then they'll renegotiate in a way next summer of what they're going to do?
Yeah. Deese was also asking, like, what would you think about bringing up Justin Barron?
I wouldn't know. I mean, it's definitely worth a shot because, I mean, like I said, playoffs are not in the plans or expected. So I think if he does well in Laval, why not bring him up, try him out a few games, see if he's learned anything. I mean, it doesn't hurt anything, right? Because you're not going for anything. So no, I'm not against it whatsoever. I mean, if he's doing well in Laval and they're like, hey, come up for a few games to see what you've learned, or if you got better defensively, because everybody knows he's good offensively. It's the defensive side and the decisions that he's going to work on. And if he comes up and shows that he's learned stuff, I think they'll give him more of a shot to stay, or at least a few more games.
Yeah.
Just jumping back in here. Hey, Carey's back. Hey, there you go. So the third picture that I have of him is good now. We're good.
There's never enough Carey, let's be honest.
Yeah, he's a fixture in everyone's heart as a Habs fan, and my wall.
Oh wow.
Times 3. So but like
I was gonna say quickly, Deke, speaking of heart, I think Suzuki is ready for the captain. Oh, you guys? I mean, the first 6 games, he's got a point per game. He's showing off some skills. I mean, some people thought he was too young, but I think he's taking that C and running with it.
He sure is.
If we're going to talk about offensive pairings and who's impressed there, I mean, it's Suzuki. Obviously, he made the list on Twitter of the top 10 worst contracts in the NHL. And I mean, cheers to that, because this guy's going to be probably over a point per game, or at least averaging a point per game, which he is right now. So cheers to all the haters, because Captain Nid Suzuki absolutely deserves that C on his chest. He's been a beauty to watch. Him and Cole Caulfield are a great duo. I mean, when's the last time we had a great duo like that?
Who can recall? I mean, like I got the C on the jersey just on the way to Montreal. I had like you guys saw my Slav jersey, and I hope Brando's proud of me for that. By the way, so I'm done
buying jerseys. I'm never buying one again.
Yeah, you know what? Just stick
Romanov gone. Price is gone.
Price didn't get traded.
Price didn't get traded. But
did you have a KK jersey too?
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Nick, you have 100, so you don't. It's not the same thing. Brando's had a lot of heartache with this.
Pacioretty, Kotkaniemi, Weber, Price,
Domi.
Yeah, I'm thinking we're gonna get to this after, but I'm gonna buy a Mike Hoffman jersey very soon. Anyways, Brando, that's what you should buy.
Oh man.
He'd be
But
gone quick.
yeah, offense. Cole Caulfield, I think, hasn't lost his touch since last season. He's what, top 2 or top 3 right now since last season of the most consecutive goals in I don't know how many games. So just absolutely insane. We're seeing what we need to see from Cole Caulfield. He's exciting to watch. This guy is I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It's beautiful to watch.
Well,
I
let's
guess
just
that's
put
what I'm gonna say.
yeah, it is. And like, so much more confidence he's playing with too.
Oh
Last
my god,
year,
yeah.
like I talked this, I think I talked to Shane at the game when we met up at the intermission,
Yeah.
and how he was feeling so much pressure when he was playing with Toffoli and Nick last year in the home opener that we all went to for the versus the Rangers. This year against the Leafs, I mean, the second period starts in that game. He finishes the play that didn't get finished in the first period, which was basically the same thing, a pass from Nick Suzuki. He finishes that. Then he comes back on later on in the period and looks like he's going to go pass all the way. And a very underrated passer has he become as well. And then he just snipes, and gets 2 goals in the first game and just looks about as comfortable as he possibly can be at ease, and like an easy 40 goal scorer, whether it's this season or just going forward. That's just going to be natural for him.
Over 20, actually, I'm going to say 23 to 25. I'm going to be more than happy for this season with Cole Caulfield.
Yeah.
It was brought up on Twitter, I think, this week of what Martin St. Louis actually said to Cole on the bench during his first game. I don't know if you remember all last season where he's like going down towards him and just talking to him. And he said, stop overcomplicated, stop thinking, go out there, have fun. And that's what this kid is doing. He's having fun. He knows he can pinch. He knows he can do basically whatever the hell he wants. Look at the result.
He's creating a lot of turnovers too. Like if you notice, and you actually look at the advanced stats, which I'm starting to more nowadays. Yeah. And he's helping turn pucks over, and that's what led to his goal against Arizona the other night. It was actually a bounce off a guy's skate, but I mean, he was in the right place at the right time. He was anticipating, right? So anticipation is something my dad taught me that he looks for when he's watching games. And that's something I didn't think about like 10, 12 years ago when I first really started following Habs like every game. And the ability to make reads, which is what Marty's preaching, is the same thing as anticipate, right? So you're seeing the play before it happens. And that's what Caulfield is really, really getting better and better at as he goes.
He's becoming more and more of a complete player.
Yeah.
And it's going to be exciting to watch in the next few years. Imagine what a couple of years of experience is going to do to him. This is just 1.5 seasons. I mean, not even 2.
Yeah, insane. If you count the playoff, like the Stanley Cup run where he just came in and he was playing pretty free there, but he really showed quickly that,
he's
that's
able
why I
to
was
do this.
Yeah, like I didn't shut up about him for the first like several months on this show because this is the kind of player I knew we were going to be getting. That's what my gut was telling me after following in college. And, so shout out to him and Nick for just doing a bang up job. And I want to talk about some other players that have stood out in a positive way on the offensive side too. And that's for me, Dach. He has stood out very well. A guy that is using his reach quite a bit, but also just not making a lot of mistakes. Like he's just in the right place at the right time, making little plays. Sean Monahan, another one. Like talk
we
about a guy
got Sean for free and a first round pick. Let that sink in. Thank you, Calgary. Cheers. Puck
Cheers,
yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Puck yeah is right. Exactly. So a guy who again just has just been doing his job. And, what's funny? You watch guys with experience that just know how to not just read and anticipate plays, but you see Monahan like getting some. He has the puck last night. This is on Xhekaj's goal, so he's got the puck along the boards and he's getting moved around a little bit, but he doesn't like overreact at all. He just kind of takes the hit and then he just keeps skating and then he gets the puck up to Xhekaj and he scores. And just like the other day against Pittsburgh in the overtime when he just kind of wheels around and finally just a no look pass to Dach for his first goal. So that's just on the offensive side. And then again, home opener on his birthday, just makes the read at the right time and anticipates and scores. Like Monahan is just a guy that if he stays healthy right now, there's going to be about at least half the fan base voting to try to re-sign him. So where are you at right now in your early Sean Monahan trade him or not trade him?
When we acquired Sean Monahan, I was on the fence just because of his injuries and the way the last year in Calgary went. Obviously, we didn't know the full story, but yeah, very on the fence of how it was going. But right after that interview he did this summer, where he said how he was treated in Calgary and basically dumped on the sidelines of, hey, your hip is messed up, just have a seat and it is what it is. He said, I have something to prove and I'm going to prove them wrong. Right there. Switched for me. I was fully on board the Sean Monahan train of this guy's going to do whatever he can to prove that he can still play. And again, like you said, if he stays healthy, he's going to be a dominant threat every single game. Every single game. So if he keeps this pace up, I have no issues re-signing the guy. Actually, you know what? I have no issues re-signing the guy, period.
Yeah, I mean, just think
he
too,
loves Montreal.
Yeah, like you want guys that want to be here.
Yeah.
Now let's go to this for a second because we've talked about some guys that have stood out now. This is some of your favorite parts. So I think you have some things to say about two guys who didn't register a shot on net last night, the only two who didn't. And yeah, no worries. It's construction season over there and we're in it, so it's all good. But anyway, so there is a few players that have stood out in a not so good way, and that includes, Jonathan Drouin, Evgeny Dadonov, two guys who are on expiring contracts. So that's good news for Habs fans because, again, we're looking forward to seeing the younger guys take their place, next year, most likely. But what are who are the players, maybe other than these two? We can start with them, and that have not impressed you so much in a not so good way.
So I have a top 4 list.
Okay.
Again, it's not going to come to any surprise because I talk about it mostly on every show, but it's relevant. It's going to be Jonathan Drouin. You have Christian Dvorak, Dadonov, and yeah, I'm drawing a blank. ... No, I wrote
forward
it on
or
Twitter
defense
yesterday. No, I wrote it on Twitter yesterday. Hold on, bear with me.
I will bear with you.
Hoffman. Duh.
Oh, well, I'm not, what's funny? I'm going to bring myself up just for 1 second. I'm
go
not
for it.
as annoyed with him as I have been with the others. Like Dvorak, just not seeing not much from him. Just kind of feel like he's just kind of there. But Hoffman, like I know last night Hoffman got his first goal and everything, but he hasn't been bugging me as much as the other guys. So anyway, let me hear what your side is on this.
Okay, Drouin. We talked about this last week, 2 weeks ago. Anyways, I'm going to bring this topic back up where this guy is on an expiring contract. And I understand that he's been through a lot mentally. I am a huge advocate for mental health.
Mhm.
Don't get me wrong. He's had some challenges that he has to overcome. And now he's working towards his goal or whatever that is. Okay. So I know last 2 weeks ago, we had some comments of somebody said, Nick, stop making fun of people with mental health. Okay. I'm not. First of all, I have mental health myself. I'm a huge advocate for it. So tone it down. 2, this guy, I feel like every year it's been up. This is going to be Drouin's year. This is going to be Drouin's year. Where is it? He goes every game. You don't know what kind of player you're going to get. Is he going to do an amazing pass to Caulfield like you saw? Or is he going to be the type of player that ghosts and he's just floating around and coasting? He's a coaster. Not like a literal coaster, but like he's a coaster. He floats. He just doesn't look invested. You don't see any emotions. He didn't even register a shot on goal yesterday. Like, It blows my mind. Everybody was involved yesterday. Well, everybody, okay. Let's tone it down a little, but 90% of the team was involved yesterday. That puck was bouncing everywhere. Where was he?
Yeah.
Where was he? Who knows?
Right.
And then we're going to talk about Christian Dvorak, which when we got him from Arizona, I saw replays and I'm like, wow, this guy looks like he needs a new home and he needs to reinvent his game.
Mm-hmm.
And we might be fine, but not sold on it. Not sure if it was worth the first round pick. apart from being consistent on faceoffs in key moments, I don't see what I'm seeing from Christian Dvorak. What does he do? He's not scoring. He's not really passing. He's doing what? I'm not seeing it. I don't get the hype. For me, that's taken the spot out. I've been saying this for a year now of Jake Evans should be in Christian Dvorak's spot. Talk about a guy who gives 110% every single shift, every single game. It's Jake Evans. He deserves that spot, but I understand why we're trying to keep the dynamic of it, I guess, and those key face-offs. Okay, fine. But if you got a guy that's going to give 50% and a guy that's going to give 110, to me, it's a no-brainer. Switch that up. Mike Hoffman, which, yes, scored last night. Perfect. Let's try to up his value and sayonara. You know, it's frustrating to watch when he's going down. He had a chance to pass yesterday. Pass the puck. The guy's waiting, and he's just casually skating. Nothing. No, let's pass the puck to the boards, because the board is going to do a lot of things for you. Nothing. He's not invested. There's no emotion. We don't need that kind of momentum killer on the team. He's taken the spot of, I don't know, maybe Raphael Harvey-Pinard, who should have made the team, by the way. You know, I can see a lot more guys that would be 110% involved and developing instead of having Mike Hoffman. You know, I don't know. It's frustrating. I don't know.
Yeah, I see more out of him than the others you mentioned. Like, I see more out of him than Dvorak. Drouin is kind of like, these flashes of greatness and then nothing. But I think Hoffman will be the hardest contract to move, just because of the cap
100%.
And because of the term. So I don't know. Like, I think we're kind of stuck with him. I think we all know that Drouin and Dadonov are.
Oh, Dadonov, that's another one. Yeah,
as good as gone. Dadonov's been getting a little bit better lately, but still, like, the results aren't quite there. So you got Gallagher, Dadonov, and Dvorak, right? That's been the line pretty much from training camp. But I don't know. Like, maybe they're too comfortable with each other or something. But the chemistry. Gally, we got no complaints on Gally, by the way. He's developing.
Gally can play with anyone and anywhere.
Yeah, he's evolving his game, as St. Louis has asked. But in terms of, it's hard to say just because it's 6 games in. I don't really want to, but I'm looking forward to guys like Heineman and RHP maybe getting a chance or something, right?
Yeah.
Like, Heineman's injured still, and still a young player that might go to Laval. But that when they're in the lineup, we're not going to see floaters. We're going to see skaters,
exactly,
and guys that are going to be learning and getting better and better.
I don't care if you're not racking up points and if you're not scoring, but as long as you perform and you get involved, and that I see something positive to say, hey, you saw this type of stats today. You saw some involvement. You saw something. We're not seeing anything from them. And Dadonov, I think it was against Arizona, who had a decent game. I can say that was the best game that I've seen from him since he's joined the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah.
However, I don't know. Is he just not getting enough chances? Is he just not trying to? I don't know how to describe Dadonov, and I think I would be a little less ticked off if it wasn't taking that much from the cap. This guy's not worth 5.3, 5.6, I think.
For
not
Dadonov?
Sure.
Dadonov's like an even 5 or 5.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
$5 million. Yeah.
So for me, if he was on a contract of 2.6, let's say, ballparking here, I'd be like, you know what? It's 2.6. This guy's just whatever. But right now we're taking a $5 million hit on somebody who could be giving a crap.
I think we're also forgetting about Armia too, but that's again a guy we don't know what we're going to get out of him, right?
Exactly. so if we're looking at Armia
you miss him right now?
2-3 seasons ago, Armia, I would have said, wow, I would take 100 Armias on my team. This guy defensively, on the penalty kill, whatever. He was absolutely involved. He's very strong on the boards. He's making key plays, and he was scoring. So again, if he's not scoring, okay, fine. But if we're seeing those kinds of plays, I'll be more than excited to watch Armia play. However, last season, right after signing that contract, where's Armia? Making bonehead plays, not getting involved. It's frustrating to watch. So when he comes back this season, what kind of Armia are we going to get? Those are the types of players I feel like we should be getting away from, of what kind of player are we going to get tonight? If I have to ask myself that question every single game, it's not worth it.
Yep.
That's just a personal opinion, but I don't know. It's frustrating as all hell.
Well, I want to shift gears for 1 second, but I know what you mean, because I think this season we have to accept what we get. You know what I mean? Like, whether it's
of course,
because right now we're at 500, which is still better than last year, but there's just going to be these games like last night where you're just like, oh man, okay, we got to remember what stage of the rebuild we're at. So and
it was a ton of positives from last night's game.
Yep, and that's
we lost 5-2. Go for it.
Yeah, no, it was 1-1 after the first period, right? And
we're still in it.
It was 3-2 after Xhekaj scored, and then we let a goal in with 18 seconds, and it just kind of all fell apart after that. Joe Pavelski just put on a show. Couldn't blame our goaltending, that's for sure. And both goalies have been fine so far. I have to say that to Jake Allen and Sam Montembeault. I've had no issues with either, to be honest, and nothing major. But there is another person we have not talked about, which is surprising 30 minutes in to this show, that we have not a chance to talk about. I can't believe we've taken this long to get to him, but Anik, come on. How about this guy standing out so far, huh?
My guy Slaf. I don't think. Okay, so first of all, I went on Twitter and I said, you know what, Slaf scores tonight. Guess what? Slaf scored. So I'm just gonna point that out. Toot my own horn for a second.
As you
but
should.
I feel like every game has been okay, so far this is Slaf's best game. Okay, this is Slaf's best game now. So at some point you can see the progression, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes around and he freaking scores at the Bell Center, and that place was awake. I don't remember last time I saw that much of an ovation and that loud. On TV, you couldn't even hear Michel Lacroix announcing the goal. It was just that loud. So to anybody who was at that game, I hope you soaked that moment in, because it's one that you're never going to forget. And this kid too, I mean, sitting on the bench and Gally having him waving, he's like, hi. It's the cutest thing ever. I'm so happy for him. He's been, one thing I wasn't expecting from him is how great he's been defensively. He's been creating, I don't know what he's creating, but I've been very impressed with Slafkovsky defensively. So I guess what I'm going to ask you now is, does he stay past 9 games?
Oh, well, I mean, right now,
that's the question.
Yeah, it's a great question. And right now, we know that he had an upper body injury for last night's game. For me personally, I at least want to see him for the next 2 games, specifically Thursday in Buffalo, because I'll be going. So, so after that, I don't really care, to be honest. No, I, you know what? At this point, I see why they didn't rush him out the door when he wasn't scoring, didn't get his first point, you know. Then, you know, Shane Wright gets his first assist. Then next night, Slav gets his first goal. So eat your heart out, Shane. All the best for the guy who I wouldn't shut up about. Yeah, you guys know how much I was on the Shane Wright train for the longest time, and now I am just a complete convert when it comes to our first overall pick, this fella right here. And then again, like,
welcome to the dark side.
This is not the dark side. This is the Force. Okay. This is like, I'm not a Star Wars fan, but come on. This is like, come on. This is a guy you can get behind.
You.
I know. I just had
from the get-go.
I know.
And you had Shane Wright blockers on. I'm so happy you're on my team now.
Oh man, we're all on the same team. We really are. And we both have
that door
the
is
jersey.
Permanently open to anybody who wants to bandwagon with us. I mean, knock yourself out.
Yeah, no, Slafkovsky is he's a heck of a lot of fun. His personality, like, just standing out.
So refreshing.
Oh, he was hilarious in his post-game interview with Mark Denis the other night. Did you guys watch on RDS?
Yes.
That was so friggin' funny. And then, like, you know, just kind of having like all the guys
having fun.
Yeah. Like when he got the first star, and most guys go out, they throw their 3 pucks into the crowd, and then they get off the ice. He took his time. He was kind of like faking it, pretending to throw it one way, taking his time, enjoying
He
the
has to
moment.
like. I'm pretty sure he knocked someone out with that last throw too. Like, holy crap! That's probably where he got his wrist injury, is like flicking that puck.
Yeah, he's been watching too much, MLB playoff baseball
Phew.
or something. But yeah, so when it comes to him,
Exciting.
when it comes to him and whether or not he should stay or go, I think honestly at this point, it's man, it's hard to say because like you just mentioned with the guys that you're not seeing a whole lot of effort out of every night, who you're not seeing enough to say, okay, I see why you're here. Well,
Yeah.
Slav is showing why he's here because he's learning and he's not looking at a place. He's getting more comfortable as the more that he goes. And now the first goal monkey is off his back.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to worry about that anymore, and he had the moment. It was great. It was bigger than expected. That first NHL goal is going to go down in history. Like if you look at Crosby, Ovechkin, McDavid, I remember all their first goals. They weren't as memorable as this with
and to note that this one
Josh
is the
Brown.
first time since in Hartford in 1995 that a first round pick scores his first goal in the building that he was drafted.
Ooh, that is a fun stat.
That is a great stat.
That's a wicked stat, actually.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He's only the second guy to do it. So you know what? Cheers, Slav.
Within a matter of months from this to this.
From being there, watching him get drafted to seeing that on TV was absolutely a privilege to watch. And my 2 cents on if he stays or not would be like, I think no matter what, after 9 games, I'd send him down. And then depending on how the team is doing, if the team keeps playing some 500 hockey or even a little bit above, let's say, I'm leaving him in Laval, let him develop, let him have his fun, whatever. And then if we start tanking and we're below 500 in, let's say, January or February, that's where I'm bringing him back up for him to finish the year. He gets the rest of the year to get a little bit more of experience, get a few games in. And then next season, he's going to be ready to be permanently on the team, maybe. I don't know. I think it's a little bit of my mentality for a lot of the kids too. I mean, we saw like just the Habs prospect this weekend of Beck, Hudson, Massart. Like everybody had killer games. Even Logan Mailloux scoring his first goal of the season too. So
I didn't know about that. Okay.
Yeah, last night he's had a pretty good one. So it's exciting to watch our prospects, and if down the line we can bring some prospects up to Laval, getting to watch them in the A, that would be pretty exciting just for the Rocket, which probably going to have a great season again this year. Haven't been watching a lot of games, but I think they're 4-2 or something. So I don't know. I'm depending on where the team stands. If we're not doing as well as we thought, like we're probably going to do, for me, we bring him back in February and just let him ride out the rest of the season, get some experience in. And that way, when he starts next year, there's no pressure of scoring that first goal. He's got it, and he's got some experience under his belt. You know what to expect, and God knows which contracts we're going to move to. So there might be a little bit more room for him to experience different lines with different guys, because right now we're shifting him from playing on the last line with Hoffman. So again, no disrespect to Mike Hoffman, but I don't think that's the best guy to help Slav's development right now, So, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
It was nice to see just the way, because if you look at the play and the way Slav's first goal was scored, I mean, like all of a sudden you got this Wi-Fi signal flying across the offensive zone to go check Josh Brown. And then Slav gets the puck, scores, and then some 4-letter words exchanged. But like just to see them on the bench after, I don't have the picture with Slav's tongue out, but like how hilarious that was. But you know what? Just the way the young kids are coming up together, and what we've seen so far, like we've been pretty spoiled through 6 games in terms of like seeing that goal and seeing Xhekaj's goal, seeing Nick and Cole be awesome. We didn't even talk about his Datsukian shootout goal. Everyone's calling it a Suzukian shootout goal now, or penalty shot goal.
Yeah.
But that was
Pavel
just
Suzuki.
a gift. Yeah.
I don't have any words for what that was, but you even saw him too. As soon as he scored and goes around to the bench, he's like
he's surprised
he knows
himself.
That was dirty, and he knows it. So you know what, Captain Nick, keep doing what you're doing, because I'm here for it.
Friend of the show, Nick Suzuki.
Friend of the show, Nick
Captain
Suzuki.
Nick
No
Suzuki.
big deal.
NBD.
No big deal.
Yeah, no, we we have a little bit of fun because we've been very fortunate, and that's all thanks to we know who
You guys.
the other number 22 that started the show. But
But
yeah, go
just
ahead.
speaking of number 22 as well, is I think I think you mentioned it. I'm not sure, but this group dynamic
Mhm,
that's being
mhm.
built right now. I'm not sure if it's you that texted that to me the
Yeah,
other
I
day
did. Yeah,
of
to the
okay.
group chat.
So I think in 2014 when Dale mentioned like this was the family, I think that was the last time we saw a group that was so close.
Yep.
You know, right now we're hearing Martin Saint Louis say too of like we're building a family, everybody's got each other's backs, and you can see it. You know,
Even
I'm
just in
just
the
gonna point this out
team
of
photo.
just team photo. Yeah, there you go. But take a look at last year when Samuel Montembeault got rattled by Zach Cassian. I'm not going to bring up, well, we can talk about Petrie thing because he was back in Montreal too. So
Yeah.
Petrie skates by, looks at him, goes on with his day. Life is good. Pulling a Jonathan Drouin, just coasting. Cool. This year, you've got Arbor Xhekaj, who, let's be honest, does not know Jeff Petrie. Oh, actually, might know Jeff Petrie from last season, but barely knows Samuel Montembeault. Doesn't know what he's going to get from Zach Cassian because let's be honest, this could have gone the opposite way and Xhekaj could have gotten ragdolled himself. But no, there you go. Here's my guy. So he literally says after the game, you know, I remember last year what happened to Samuel Montembeault. And then at the face-off, I started laughing, and Zach Cassian asked me what I was laughing at, and I said, I'm laughing at you. The balls on this kid to say that to Zach Cassian, I'm laughing at you, and drop the gloves, and then just ragdolls him. You know, you didn't see that last season where guys had each other's backs. So it's refreshing to see how, you know, the chemistry even between Slav and Xhekaj right now of just I was so happy when he scored I had to go hug him. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, it's
Brotherhood,
just
right?
it's special to watch, and I'm enjoying watching the boys build a family. This team is something else, and even if we're not making the playoffs, we've said it from the start on this channel is we want to see the team compete.
Yeah.
We don't give a shit what the results are. Like last night, we lost 5-2. There was about 60 positive things that I could have named from last night. Easily. That's what I want to see. So last night is the prime example of I don't give a crap how much we lost by. Tons of positives. And if we keep playing that way and losing, it is what it is. It's the kind of experience that we're going to be able to apply next season. And it's perfect.
And we're seeing it from the guys who are going to be here most likely longer than the others.
100%.
That's what you're seeing is the stuff that you did like. The players that you are liking are the guys that are hopefully going to be around the longest. So Brando did mention that he had to attend to his little guy, so he wasn't able to jump back on. But shout out to Brando
to Brandon and Easton, who celebrated his 1-year birthday last month. So
yes,
can't believe how time flies by. Insane.
I know, it's crazy.
Before we log off here, I just wanted to get your opinion on seeing Jeff Petrie back in Montreal. What did you think, and how did you react to the whole thing? The whole game, actually.
Yeah, well, the game, I mean, the fact that he finished the game in the penalty box and we got the overtime goal was like, we got three penalties. Yeah. So, I mean, he said I think his family, the Pittsburgh's coming back to Montreal in the next couple of weeks, so he's going to bring his whole family this time.
Well, it's just because we were hearing a lot. I'm going to cut you. And there was a lot of people on Twitter. Obviously, we know that the Habs fan base wasn't a big fan of Julie Petrie and how everything went down. But guys, before you start attacking Julie again on why she didn't want to be in Montreal for that specific game, just to let you know that their son Boyd was in the hospital in Pittsburgh during that game. So it's not a matter of not wanting to come back to Montreal and seeing Jeff play and being back with the fans. Their son was in the hospital because of asthma attacks that we know he's got chronic asthma and stuff. So just tone it down, like you don't know what's going on in people's lives before you start shitting on them just because of hockey. So just tone it down.
Yeah, it was announced that the Petries wouldn't be attending, and then they mentioned that they'll be at the next Pittsburgh game in Montreal. So
there you go.
And there was a much deeper reason anyway that they weren't there. But
Yeah.
Boyd Petrie has left a mark that will never be erased, especially on the Habs YouTube channel. Over 230,000 views. One of the cutest videos you'll ever see.
Montreal.
He is, and the Petries have left a very, very positive mark on the Canadiens franchise. So I mean that stuff's going to be at the bottom of the table in terms of what's going to be remembered.
It's done.
So I'm not worried about that. Yeah,
so guy came back and hey, it led to a Habs win, and he was in the box to watch it. So
yeah, it's just
welcome back, Jeff. But cheers, Jeff. Thanks for the win. We'll take it.
Bittersweet, mostly bitter for Jeff in that regard.
Habs legend Kirby Dach scoring his first goal. So again, cheers to Kirby Dach, who's been very impressive to watch too.
Yeah, a guy who's going to be here long term. That's the plan. So all the young kids have been impressing the most, and that's like the best news for us as Habs fans for the future. So if you haven't already, guys, please do subscribe, hit that like button to help us spread to more Habs fans and other hockey fans. I know it's mostly Habs fans, let's be honest. But if you guys do want to support our show again too, I do have some merch on today. So Habsativity is kind of the theme of our show whenever we try.
There's new merch on the store too.
New merch that you can check out, which Nick does design. So we thank you for that, of course, Nick. And thank you to Brando for jumping on with us. We always appreciate having the OGs on for a show, even if it's just in little snippets here, because he's being a dad and doing a great job at it, obviously, because he's not here. He's doing that first, which matters more. But thank you all for watching. And we always appreciate jumping on for these roundtables and having you guys be here with us. So as always, Nick, thank you. It was great to jump on, and we'll see everyone on the next one.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.